Greetings, guys. Hope you had a great weekend and hope each and everyone is doing well. I hope you guys are prepared for the coming week. Yeah, this is a quick update and also a review for this coming week for our tradable assets. Uh, so we start with dollar index, which is the boss in the markets. Last week, this is weekly time frame. Last week, I made an outlook. Please, if you've not watched the previous outlook or previous week's outlook, kindly go back and watch that so that you understand what I'm going to explain here about last week's outlook, so that things will make sense to you. Okay, so you go back. I have last week's outlook in the channel. Go back and watch before you watch this if you've not watched the last week's outlook. And also don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so last week I made a review about dollar index on weekly. This is weekly time frame. This is this week's action, or should I say last week's action. We are entering current week now, which market hasn't opened yet. So I made an outlook about a projection about dollar index. My main projection for dollar is a bearish projection. Um, we had an inversion fair value gap here, which I made mention of, and I told you guys this inversion fair value gap is either going to serve as a resistance to push price down, to clear all these lows into this breaker over here, or we push up from here. And this is the update. This is the action for the whole week. As you can see, I've not removed all my markings. I've not removed all my markings. Now weekly gap. Market went in, which resist price drop further down. And these lows are suspicious. They are clean. And I'm expecting this week to actually drop to complete that. Let me see. Yes, to complete that. So that's update about dollar index. When you look at daily time frame, you realize that the an inversion fair value gap, which is a weekly inversion fair value gap, had this is Monday candle. They went into it, created a fair value gap on daily time frame, went back on Tuesday into it. Then Tuesday forms the high of the week. As we all know, that's the weekly metrics. Mostly the high, if we are bearish, the high of the week, which is the manipulation phase of the weekly cycle, most of the time form on Tuesdays. This is typical example of it. On Tuesday, we formed the high. We swept Friday's high, last week's Friday's high, or previous week's Friday's high. Went deeper into this family gap, swept up Friday's previous week's Friday's high, and then we start to drop on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We drop heavily. So this is called example of weekly metrics. Okay, this very high this very high um, uh, probable trade that when you actually understand the cycle, weekly cycle, this going to be a heavy one for you. Very nice, very nice one. Okay, so we go straight to gold. We made mention of, or I made mention of this high being the being a support area for gold. Technically, I was bullish on gold, and I made mention of this high, gold dropping to touch this high and way up. Um, we had an immediate weekly rebalance over here, which I was not expecting dollar in the gold to actually reach for, because gold is showing very strong bullish move. So I don't expect that to get um, completed. Okay, weekly immediate rebalance. So I was expecting this high to support price to push price higher, which they did, but they go a little bit deeper. When we go to daily time frame, we're going to see that it's all about is doing. This is Monday's candle. As I said, when we open, we're gonna drop down onto this breaker. We drop down, and I highlighted daily immediate rebalance here, which they drop, and that's on Monday. They drop to that immediate rebalance and heavy manipulation, deeper, close to Friday's low, previous week's Friday's low. And on Tuesday, market dropped further down, taking out what? Tuesday's low. So when you understand the weekly cycle, which most of the time, when we are bullish, as I explained on dollar index earlier, when dollar index was on Tuesday, when dollar index was taking Monday's high, gold also took out what? Monday's low. That's typical example of weekly cycle, the metrics, and gold respected dollar index this uh, previous week. Okay, very nicely. And same opposite. Tuesday took out Monday's low. But what I was expecting when gold was close to Friday's low, I was expecting Friday's low to be taken out, but they didn't Friday's low. This is, we have a lot of brokers in the system, and when I check brokers chart like, we have a lot of brokers on TradingView. We have Wanda, we have Paperstone, we have a lot. When I checked, I realized some of them took out Friday's low. Okay, it took out this low, which is a very good entry. So at this point, I was actually waiting for gold to drop below Friday's low for a very nice spot entry, like buy entry for me, but they didn't. They only took out Monday's low, which sometimes gold is tricky. Gold is very, very tricky, and you need to exercise patience for gold. Okay, so one thing about me, when I looking for a point, my entry point, and it's not there, if the price is not at my entry point, I wait patiently for. So uh, gold was not able to take our Friday's low by doing institutional entry drill for me within this daily fair value gap that I drew here. It only took out 1 day's low, and it started to rally up. This was quite, frustrating. Though I was expecting higher price on dollar index, but yet I still want Friday's low to be taken out, but they didn't. Um, so the rally up on Wednesday, the rally up again, drop further down, and that's the heavy up move by taking previous Friday's high, which I told you guys in a previous week's outlook that if I'm in a buy within this range here, if I get the buy entry within this range, my first target will be this fair value gap, daily fair value gap, which they did, and then went a bit deeper into this volume imbalance. Okay, volume imbalance, and then on Friday they drop a bit down, and then they move higher again to close. So that's what really happened on gold. And so this week, let's see what this week I'm expecting something like this to happen. I'm still bullish on gold. I'm expecting this to happen. I want to see gold open, touch this immediate rebalance on weekly, touch this immediate rebalance on weekly, then rally up. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. You know, when okay, I'll be teaching something very soon. Teaching something very soon. Very simple way of catching daily candles. Catching the if you are bullish, you catch the low of it and rally up, you close. Okay, so I'll be teaching that soon. Uh, yeah, it's very simple strategy. So this is what I'm expecting on gold this week. We drop onto this and then rally up. My first target will be the high, the all-time high, and the second target will be here. But gold might not get to 2,500 in this coming week. Okay, but maybe to reach there in the subsequent weeks. Okay, so my entry point will be within weekly immediate rebalance. My first target will be the all-time high. I'll be taking partial when I get entry around here. I'll be taking partial around here. The midpoint of this week, the midpoint, which is the consequent encroachment of this particular week, the week of the this candle, the high, the upper week of this candle, the midpoint of it. I'll be taking partial around it. Okay, then If I pull heavy categories, if I pull heavy, I'm going to take first partial here, second partial, and then hold the rest to maybe add more layer when I see more entries in a subsequent weeks. Okay, so uh, let's go back and see what when you're expecting that what dollar index is going to do for this week. So if that's going to happen, I'd like to see dollar index. With the current action that dollar index is showing, dollar index can just open and then drop below this low. Okay, by clearing all these lows over here, tapping into this value, hitting the breakout over here. We can do that. Okay, but if they will go according to how I explain uh, gold, then I would like to see dollar index reaching for what this price 104.500 before dropping. I don't expect weekly immediate rebalance to reach for dollar index before dropping, just within this range. Okay, when you look at this action over here clearly, you could see that we have high here, we have low, another high, we have low here, and we rally up. We are about to break this structure, but we are yet to break it. Okay, we are yet to break it. So I don't expect this immediate rebalance, which is weekly immediate rebalance, to get reached or completed before dropping. If we are to do manipulation or forming a high, then likely we are returning within this price 104.500, then drop down. Then when we get to this zone, then we see the reaction around here will tell us or will determine if we are going to head up. But I'm much confident that dollar is going to bounce back around this zone. It's going to bounce back around this zone. So watch out for that. Watch out for that. Okay, so let's take a look at US 100 Nasdaq. Okay, so this is weekly. I made mention of the weekly immediate rebalance to get filled before we rally up. But dollar index, what do you call? Nasdaq did a different thing, but it's all cool. And when you take a good look at it, it's quite clean action. Okay, so let's move down to weekly daily time frame. You see something. Yes. So last week I made mention of opening here, coming down to this level before rallying up. The first target, I told you guys when you watched the last week, outlook, you're gonna tell you my first target. When I get entry around here, my first target will be this zone. The second target will be this zone, and the third target will be this zone. Okay, so uh, let's put this like this. So this what I talked about. So we go down to daily time frame, we're gonna see something. Okay, so market open that was on Monday. Yeah? This Monday candle. We move up. The following day, which is Tuesday, we touched immediate rebalance, which is the high of Friday, last week's Friday. And then on Wednesday, we rally up to, on Tuesday, we reached the first target, which the immediate rebalance, daily immediate rebalance support price to reach to the first target. And then on Wednesday, we reached the second target. And then Thursday, we did manipulation by taking out this and it ran back to what? Daily fair value gap. And we drop back into daily fair value gap, which coupled with the weekly immediate rebalance. So we did an institutional order flow entry drill around here on Friday, which a rally up complete this heavy drop on Thursday. It was a very beautiful action, very beautiful action, very very beautiful action. So uh, you know, Nasdaq is quite bullish, very very bullish, very very bullish, very very bullish. So for this week, I want to see. I want to see when market open. Anything at all can happen in this market. Okay, we have a very key level here, 20,000. This price, 20,000. We have a key level there. If I see, you know, Nasdaq still bullish. Okay, I'm very bullish on Nasdaq. Okay, so let me clear this off before we reach these levels. So I have this and this. Nasdaq is very very bullish. Okay, we left weekly fair value gap here. When market open, there's a fair value gap here. I would love, and per what this candle is showing, we might not go into this fair value gap. Okay, we might not go into this fair value gap. Maybe likely the midpoint of this lower week of last week action or last week's candle, maybe midpoint of it. But if by any way there's a manipulation down into this weekly fair value gap, that is going to be what a very nice spot entry buy to reach forward this particular week's high and to the third target and to the last target. So I would love to see Nasdaq drop into this weekly fair value gap for me to get entry. When I get entry there, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it to what? My first is going to be a swing trade for me. Definitely, it's going to be a swing trade for me. When I get entry here, my first pass will be here. My first partial will be there. That's about 681 pips. So I would love to see. They might not, they might not, but there is 1% chance. If we have high or 90% chance that uh, Nasdaq might not get into this fair value gap or previous this last week's low, there is also 1% chance that we might get into this fair value gap. So whatever happened, fine. If it doesn't happen the way I wanted it, that's it. I'll allow it to go. Okay, I'll allow it to go. So I'd like to see something like this. Let's see what how it looks like. Um, yeah, it looks quite, you know, real that it can happen. Okay, we can take out this low and start to rally up. So I'm expecting that when it gets there, I won't hesitate pulling the trigger. I'll pull it. I'll pull it. I'll pull a heavy one. To be honest, I'll pull a heavy one. Um, uh, just be in your risk perimeter. Don't risk more than what you're supposed to risk. The industry standard maximum 2%. Yeah, so that's it for. Um, it looks clean. It looks, clean when we get here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So lastly, let's see what our Bitcoin is doing. 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 Okay, so I don't personally trade Bitcoin. Only in investment purpose. So I'm waiting, still waiting, still waiting. This last week, which is ending today, Sunday, we see a push up, and we are likely returning around when tomorrow's week open. We are likely returning around this, likely returning around this. We will see a pop up like to take out this current week, hitting here probably, then drop. I'll really love to see Bitcoin drop further more. Yeah, so that's it, and I wish you the best in this coming week. More blue peeps. Subscribe to the channel and share the link for more people to take advantage. Okay, there are more goodies coming up. More goodies coming up. So do well to share the link, subscribe, let them subscribe, and wait for the goodies. Thanks, and I'm out.